It is a beautiful season to be alive, and it doesn't matter whatever you're going through, so long as you're alive, there is hope. This is Confessions on TV3. My name is Miss Nancy, and I'm loving you from here. And I know that the people right here in the studio with me are loving you back. Yeah, thank you. Tonight, I hear that the confession is quite a complicated one, and I love complications, and so we're going to sit in, listen to her confession, get the counselors to come on and see how we can help them. It's going to be an amazing show, and please do not go away. I will be right back. That her confession is quite a complicated one, and I am saying that it's all right, and no matter how complicated it is. I'm ready. I would listen, and I will have you listen, and we'll see how we'll be able to help this beautiful young lady. Hi, my darling. How are you?
Hi, Miss Nancy. I'm not doing so well.
But you will be fine.
Sure, I believe so.
Yes, I mean, sharing your story, giving your confession is the first effort at healing. So you will be good. Now sure. I'm ready. Can we have your confession?
Miss Nancy, I am a married woman, but as I'm speaking, my marriage is at the verge of breaking. And I'm also at the verge of losing the only person I have in my life as my sister. I'm a married woman and I have 3 kids. All my life, I've had my sister as my family. We are orphans, and my sister has been the only one I have, and I have been the only one she has.
Beautiful.
And so my sister got married, my younger sister actually.
You are the older one?
Yes, please.
Okay.
My younger sister got married before I did. She got married to a very loving and caring husband.
Oh.
I've always had eye for this man, you know, but...
You've always had eye for
my
your sister's husband?
Yes.
Your little sister's husband?
Yes, please.
Okay.
But I kept it away from my sister, and I kept it to myself. They also have 3 children.
Okay.
And so 5 years later, I also got married. And over 3 years, I wasn't able to conceive. My husband and I tried everything medically. We've been to hospitals. I tried herbal medicines, everything possible, yet we weren't conceiving. So one of the doctors told me personally that the fault is for my husband, and he would never be able to father a child due to an ailment he had when he was a child. And so I wasn't able to break this news to my husband, so I kept it to myself. So one day I was there when a friend of my husband called me that he wants to tell me something. I was like, okay. He told me my husband, out of frustration, has a child, which they named the child yesterday.
Okay.
With a lady, I am even paying her school fees at the university level. She has a child for my husband.
And he went to name this child?
And he went to name this child without my knowledge, without telling me anything about it.
Whoa.
And so I felt that my sister would disrespect me because, after all, she got married before I did, and she has 3 kids. And I, on the other hand...
I mean, do we earn respect by having children?
Miss Nancy, I was desperate. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to put the shame off my family. I didn't want people to point fingers at my husband, not knowing he, on the other hand, wasn't thinking about me but himself. And so, out of desperation, I decided to do everything possible to be called a mother.
Of course, every woman wants to be a mother. I mean, these days, not every woman, right?
Yeah, but I was very desperate. I wanted to hear the cry of a baby. And so one day I was there when my sister called me that she was going on a vacation with her kids, and so she wanted me to help her take care of her husband in terms of her food, cleaning, and everything the husband would need
in the house.
And so I gladly accepted, not because I had intentions of seducing my sister's husband or doing anything.
We're just being a big sister,
I was
naturally.
just being a big sister. So I accepted, and as I was doing these duties for my sister, one thing led to another, and we had sex. So I got pregnant and I gave birth to twins.
As you were helping your sister's husband,
Yes.
going there to give him food, or were you going there to cook for him, or
No,
you would cook from your house and then you
yes.
take it there?
My husband was away, so I cook from the house and take it to him. I would go and clean for him and everything. So one thing led to the other, and I
mean, what thing led to what?
Miss Nancy, let me say...
Who made the first move?
Well, I did, because I had an eye for him, so I took that opportunity to say, let me have my way with him since my sister isn't around. So I got pregnant.
You made the effort?
Yeah.
And he complimented it?
Yeah. So I got pregnant and I gave birth to twins. And I didn't tell my sister's husband that the kids are his. He congratulated me, he was so happy for me, not knowing the
They
child.
were his.
Yes. So on another occasion, I went there when I was ovulating. So it was a one time, so when we had the sex, the next month I was pregnant.
Okay.
And
so now that's how come you have those 3 kids?
Yes.
So one shot gave you 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, dear.
3 of them, he knew nothing about it, that they are his.
The gentleman in question doesn't
Yes.
know he served your twins
He
and
doesn't.
the other child.
He doesn't know. And I also kept it for me because I didn't want him claiming responsibility for the child,
Of course,
for the
you're
children.
you're a
Yes.
married woman.
And so my husband too thinks the children are his, so he was very happy.
It would be.
And I also kept it for my husband that I pretended as though I don't know he also has a child with the lady I am sponsoring her education. So for some reason, my husband's office demanded for a DNA test. I knew my husband would be traveling anytime soon, but I didn't know it would be this urgent. So they needed a DNA test to confirm that the kids are really his. So my husband did the DNA without telling me anything about it.
Okay.
One day I was there when my husband approached me angrily, asking me who the father of our children are. And I was like, what is he talking about? I don't know what he's talking about. I pretended as though I don't know what he's talking about. Meanwhile, I knew exactly what my husband was talking about. So I also didn't want him to know. Even though I was angry, I kept my cool. I didn't want him
Because
to
you
know.
wanted not
Yes.
to hurt him, right?
Yeah. I didn't want him to know that he has a child, supposed child, with someone else. And even that child isn't his. So anytime he brings...
This is the complication.
Yeah.
You had 3 children supposedly with
Yes.
your husband
Yes.
who are not his. He has 1 child out of wedlock who is also not his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anytime he brings this up, I just ignore him and then I'll leave the house for some time and then go lodge myself in a hotel and then come back when everything is okay. Listen, my concern now is my sister. She's the only one I have. If my sister gets to know that I've been enjoying her sweet husband with her, she'll be broken. I'll lose
But
her.
I mean, you still are in a relationship with this man?
No, no.
It's just the 2 times that
Yes,
you did
yes.
it and then you had the children.
Yeah.
So there's not been any relationship whatsoever.
Not at all.
So it was just like 2 shots and it served its purpose.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But right now, your husband wants to know who the father of your children are.
Sure.
And if you say it's your sister's husband, that's going to kill your
My
sister.
sister would definitely get to know that her husband is the father of my kids, which I don't want that. Because it will tear us apart. I'll lose my sister completely.
This is quite a confession. Now, if Complicated was a man, this would be it's the story, the confession. But this actually is a true story. Let us go into the studio where I'll be joined by my able resource person and the studio audience, and let us look at this very complicated confession. Hi. And then we have the very complicated confession. I am Ovid, and people, are you good? It's good to have you all. Put your hands together for yourselves. Why not? It is a festive season, so any opportunity to be happy, why don't we take it? And I have especially in the studio with me also today is Pastor Ebenezer Quay. Show him some love, Pastor. Thank you. We're adding on, we're making it better. You listened to her confession. Also, asemne dosu mami.
A lot.
Do you have something to say?
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to thank you for the opportunity of
You're
making
welcome.
it to your studio once more. And I say Merry Christmas to everyone watching. It's been a difficult year, but God has been faithful to us.
Hasn't
And so
he?
once we have life, we have everything.
Indeed.
Yeah, as I listen to the lady's story, it's a difficult one to touch. But however it is, she needs help, and we have to do that. In life, there are what I call mysteries of realities. It looks mysterious, but it is real. Sometimes when you hear a story like this, people find it difficult to even believe whether it can happen. But until it happens to you, you would not know. I want to say that there is a kind of chemistry between man and woman, because that is how God made us. And speaking from the biblical perspective, God took woman out of man.
Yes.
So there is that correlation. There is some agreement between a man and a woman. So anytime a man and a woman find the opportunity of mingling and doing things together, that possibility of them coming together is also there. So we will not blame our sister much. She needs help.
Yeah.
We will not blame her much. It has happened. Let's look forward. And I believe through the interaction, we might have ideas to help her make ends meet so that she can move on with her life.
Thank you very much. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yes, gentleman in glasses, your name, and then question or contribution?
Contribution.
Please go ahead.
I'm Johnson.
Hi, Johnson.
I feel the lady is here today because of communication. I mean, you went to the doctor, the doctor said A, B, C, D about your husband, and you didn't communicate it to him.
Are you sure a doctor would not tell his client what is wrong with him and would jump on to tell the wife? I'm sure the gentleman knows. You don't think so?
I don't think so.
I mean, is there a case like that where a doctor would just, find something about me and would not tell me and go on to tell my client? Even with serious issues like HIV, the person that is infected should agree that it's okay to tell my partner before they do. Yes, anybody?
Ms. Nancy, my name is Chloe.
Yes.
This is a complicated situation indeed. First and foremost, she first mentioned she was having that feeling for her sister's husband. So I felt in the first place she shouldn't have accepted her sister's offer, like, oh, come and look after my husband. You know there's a connection between you and your sister's husband. So I felt she could have given an excuse to run away from all this. Because, okay, you've gone once and then you had twins. What about the second time? I think she didn't regret. It's a complicated situation.
No, you see, there are times that you see somebody and you just call the person an eye candy. We all go through that phase that, oh my God, this guy is handsome. But you never imagine yourself in bed with him and you don't think that the opportunity would present itself. And you don't even know that the opportunity would present itself. So you don't know what you would do if it does. Probably it was one of those things, oh, boy is fine. Oh, he's sweet, he's handsome. But then that's it. That's my sister's husband and he's handsome. But then when the opportunity presented itself, yes.
Miss Nancy, good evening once again.
Hi, yeah.
I think this woman we are talking about really knows the game for tick for tack. Because looking at what the husband did, someone that you are paying the school fees for, you went and you impregnate her, that's fine. You didn't tell your wife anything about it. The wife being so she too went to do the same thing, but she chose the wrong way. That's her sister's husband. She should have chosen someone else.
Her payback was major.
Yes.
The man did something minor and her payback was major. I mean, like we say always, it's not everybody that would forgive when you do something wrong. Yes, gentlemen?
Miss Nancy, I'm Raymond.
Hi, Raymond.
Yes, a Dean of Students from Obury Institute.
Indeed.
Indeed, the situation at hand is complicated. But I believe that we are in Christmas, a time to reunite, a time to actually get away with our flaws and then come together as one people. So I think this is the best opportunity for such a family to come together, sit on one particular table, and then bring out the truth. But the young lady was saying that she's scared, letting out the cat out
Sister
of the basket.
know,
Yes,
yeah.
just for the sister to know about it. But how long are you going to keep this secret? I have a feeling the sister who traveled, for all we know, even the 3 kids are not even the biological kids of that particular gentleman. Looking at
Oh,
what is happening.
Don't be so mean.
So I think at the end of it all, since it's complicated, it's very difficult for us to assess it one after the other. The best thing is for them to sit, bring out the truth, and then they go forward.
I will pay $1 million to be in the meeting where the wife says that you had a child out of wedlock, man, that is not yours. And these that I had for you are equally not yours. And the ones that I had actually belongs to my sister's husband. My goodness. This is Confessions. When I come back, my guest joins us. He is a counselor and he has stories that are probably even worse than this. He comes with experience and he says he'll be able to help us. So people, let us take this break and bring the counselor into the house. Give him some love, give him some love. So, Counselor Kelly Daniels, he is a love and relationship coach, right?
That's right.
And he joins us again. It's always a pleasure to have you, Kelly.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Sure, so this very, very complicated... Oh, people, you should show him love, right? Shouldn't you? Yeah. I am sure that the gentleman in question that the lady said was an eye candy for her was probably like you.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you are quite an eye candy man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And that is your sister's husband. And you see him say,
Exactly.
oh my God, he's fine. And then she didn't just say it's fine when she had the opportunity.
Yeah.
She said it to herself. And she managed it until she had a reason. And she took advantage of it. That thought.
Miss Nancy, everything imagined can come to pass given time. As long as you think about a thing, I don't care what it is, it will come to pass given the time, meditatively, passionately driven, and intentionally desired. It's going to come to pass. So the big problem started at the point where the lady began to have thoughts for her sister's husband. That was the genesis of the whole drama.
But is it not healthy? We all see people. I just called you an eye candy. Doesn't mean I'm going to do anything with you.
Thanks for the compliment, but you didn't think about going to bed with me, did you?
No.
Exactly, but she thought so. She said she's always had an eye for this man. Having an eye for the man is different from admiration and platonic appreciation. So in this case, this is a situation of, I like him for me, for myself. Could I have the privilege of having access to him? He could be mine, but he's my sister's. Okay, can I have a taste of him based on my circumstance?
Well,
That's exactly what she did. And so she meditated over it from sight to assumption to desire to the processing and then to the conclusion of, I'm going to have him. So the day they had that first sex was possibly the 10th time they had that scenario in her mind.
she had it in her
She just
mind.
eventually manifested what had been processed in her mind for countless times. And the guy did a good job and gave her to.
I mean, yeah. The guy is, he shoots, he's a man.
It
he's
meant
a man.
that her assumptions were right about him anyway.
That he wasn't just an eye candy, he had very
True.
fertile eggs.
Well, so having said that, it doesn't justify what she did.
No.
But I would not, as a counselor, I wouldn't want to condemn her to throw all the stones on her. I mean, she's number one human. She's got good eyes. It means that her brain works.
I like that.
You know, but even if we want to go biblical, I mean, for all the wrong reasons though, even a woman intentionally gave a man her maid to say, have this child for me? Of course, I know there's a different case to say this is my maid and not my sister, but if a woman can say, I permit you to sleep with another, and in those days, literally men were having their siblings, you know, one way or the other.
That was their culture, their traditions. Here, it isn't much
That's
so
why
in,
I would not outrightly say, woe unto you. I'm just going to say you did something beautiful in a very, very wrong way. Because if we go ahead to say you are an abominable human being, well, we can't throw the baby and the bathwater away. There's got to be a remedy somehow.
The part where I think that she is not actually such a bad person is where she did not continue with it until she was sure she needed another child. And she went in again and got pregnant. So as far as she's concerned, even though the guy was an eye candy, it was just something she needed from him. And she was making sure she was getting it at a very good place. I mean, if you were to choose a man you would have a child with, you would want to look at the stats of, you know, vital stats of the man that you're going to create these children with. So she's not exactly a bad person, is she?
There's no right or wrong side of her.
Because she wasn't in a relationship with this person. It was just a one-off thing, right?
Let's just say that what is wrong is wrong. I wouldn't want to say there's no right or wrong side. What is wrong is wrong. It might just be presented in a manner that could apply the strokes of mercy. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. We could have mercy. Mercy and grace are two different things. Grace is that this unmerited favor. Mercy is that you should be condemned. But then we are saying, you know what?
We are just being
regardless
merciful.
Of what you're
doing. In the
doing,
spirit of Christmas, are we not?
You know what I'm saying?
Let's appreciate ourselves. In the spirit of Christmas, so much mercy going around.
Right.
Also for a man, and to you all, who knows this young lady, look at Miss Nancy. There are so many young ladies about my life. Yeah. Those that are coming for traditional grooming, those that are coming for English grooming, those that just want to be like me, see me as their mentor. And you are my husband. And a girl that I'm supporting, a girl that I'm grooming, you decided to go to bed with this girl. And not just go to bed with her, have a child with her in the process.
All right. So once more, let me connect with Counselor, then we get to yours. It was Albert Einstein who said that imagination is the preview of coming event. So whatever you are imagining, in your thoughts would definitely come to pass. Then again, from the lady's side, I will say it this way: what you resist persists. In her thinking, she was struggling to avoid. In that struggle, it will persist. It is the reason why in the Bible it says, flee fornication. Don't resist, flee. There are things that you just have to walk away. And I think that is what
not walk away, run away.
Yeah, run away. That's a very, or if you take a flight. Yeah, so I think that is what Counselor was saying. Now, in my recent discussions, I have observed something. And then again, in the mind of the man, he needed a child. And if you look at our friend's confession, in Africa, giving birth is wealth and it is worth. It creates a worthwhile person. And so you observe that when you give a child, sometimes you lose your name. You become Kwe Papa, Ajwa Mami, and whatever. The reason is that children are a kind of wealth for the African. And for a man, not to have a child, sometimes we think about the women, but it's a difficult thing for him.
For a man as well.
For a man as well. So he would want a child. And he thinks that this person is the next person that is so close that he could do something without anybody realizing it. And that is why he was being smart. He was being smart. Then again, let me say, it is not in this particular scenario, but like you give your scenario of sleeping with a girl you are taking care of and all that. You know, I have come to observe that some men married their housemates and their housemates, and their wives are staying with them as housemates. I'm telling you.
Yeah, what are you trying to say? Break it down.
What I mean is this. Yeah. People have mistakenly And you see, sometimes counselors do tell us that we shouldn't say we've made a mistake, but you can make a mistake. You can make mistake in every aspect of life. There also you can make a mistake. That just goes to the young people. Make sure you make the right choice. You know, sometimes people marry and they realize that this is not me. And then they bring somebody to the house and that person looks like the one he was looking for. So you may rate that girl as I mean, a baby, or it's not worth the salt for your husband or whatever. But the husband sees the kind of wife he was looking for in that person. And that's what I was trying to say.
Councillor Ebenezer, thank you.
Yeah.
But Kelly, coming to you, a man that goes about the people around his wife, the wife's sister, the wife's friend, the mentees, is that a man who is disciplined? Because a man can fall anyway. Why do you have to fall so close to home?
If we were talking about a man, it would have been a different scenario. We just have a physically grown boy. That's not a man. A man should be a man, and a boy should do what a boy would be expected to do. That's not a man. This is just a bearded masculine figure, perhaps, you know, walking about and looking for a place to manifest the prowess of his libido. So that's not a man. That's just a grown-looking boy.
Because, Kelly, cheating hurts women, hurts everybody. But most of the time, it hurts even deeper the person you choose to cheat with.
You see, he didn't... cheating is just one side of it. He reduced the worth of manliness to start with. He reduced his worth as a supposed man to start with. You see, it's not just only about the person you're cheating with or on. You reduce the beauty or the glam of who you are when you compromise on your vows, or compromise on what should not be to start with. So starting with that, he's lost his place as a man.
Thank you. When a man says that another man has lost his place as a man, that makes me happy. People, this is Confessions on TV3. Now let me take this break. I'll be right back. This is still Confessions. Our councillor is in Kelly Daniels, and also Councillor Ebenezer, and my able people. You had a question, didn't you?
Thank you very much, Miss Nancy. Once again, Merry Christmas to all.
Merry Christmas, Esther.
My first question is, how old were the twins when the woman went back to have intercourse with her sister's husband?
The second shot.
Yes. The second question is, what was the man's reaction to the lady when she attempted to have intercourse with him on the first count?
Yeah.
The third question is the fact that, was the man receptive again when she came the second time? If yes, there's a problem in his marriage he has to solve.
My lady.
Miss Nancy.
Are you there?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so the first question, how old were the twins?
They were 2 years.
When you went back for the second shot, they were 2.
Yes, please.
Awesome. Timing is very, very good, very healthy. A typical Ghanaian woman, after 2 years, I want to have the next child. Second question?
He was receptive. You know, after that time, my sister went for a friend's wedding, so she left her kids with me. So I went there one day, and as I laid the kids to bed, I went to the man, and you know, it has happened before, so it wasn't that difficult. We just had a chit chat and we had our way, so it wasn't that difficult.
Now, we want to know the very first attempt. Was there a resistance? Was there another level of regret after you were done?
No.
There was no resistance?
No,
and no
please.
regret. I mean, that's your body. That's your body.
I think I need to say something the lady is not mentioning, and that's just because she's trying to be nice. There were no just 2 encounters. You can't have, I doubt from a psychological point of view, I don't think they had it just twice.
I think that it was just twice, like she's saying.
From analysis, I don't see this happening just
No,
twice.
Kelly, it's not easy for you to sleep with your sister's husband.
Yes, but this is a woman who is with your kids every time she's in your face and you've had intercourse with her for the first time. She's bending over, picking the kids. She's throwing the kids and catching them in the sky. She's walking around the house braless once every other time. You can't say that she's always prim and proper taking care of kids. You can't be prim and proper taking care of kids.
Kelly,
So
probably the environment has not been conducive the whole time. The only time
I disagree. A man has you once and
anyway,
always
she's
has
still
you
in
under
the
his
studio.
nose. He would always want you again.
She's still in the studio. And mind you, she had her own husband to attend to. Maybe they were not having children, but doesn't mean they were not having sex.
I would be shocked if she just had it twice with this man.
My lady.
It has to be more than once.
Miss Nancy.
Counselor claims you did it more than twice?
It was only twice. It was only twice.
It was only twice, right?
Yes, please.
I'm glad I believed in you. My heart would have been broken. I mean, my heart would have been broken.
Truth
Thank you.
be told, then that's a very, very rare case. That is a very, very rare case, which I still would need to probe.
Wow.
But then we don't have the luxury of time.
We don't.
But it then means somebody was fantasizing within that 2-year interval. And that's why she came back.
Let's talk also about the young lady that somebody has taken you in as a little sister, a friend, a daughter, a mentee, and you go on after her husband makes advances at you. You take the advance and you give fruits out of the advance, quote and unquote. That young lady, what is her character?
Okay, so the young lady, first and foremost, in spite of what happened, she was vulnerable. Vulnerable in the sense that somebody was taking care of you. Sometimes men have a way of pushing young people to the wall. I mean, young ladies
It's
to
not the man that is taking care of her. It's the man's wife.
But but you see, the man is aware that the lady is taking care of her. And you know our African setting, it will be difficult for a woman to be operating without the husband's consent. And you might not even know the discussions that went on between this young lady and then the man. You see, so I am looking at the vulnerability. If the lady has not completed school, and we have it all over the place, she's thinking about her future. If I don't agree, what is going to happen to me and all that. So I'm looking at the vulnerability of the girl.
How about the loyalty of a woman who has made sure that you are eating?
Yes, I'm coming to that place. You see, when you are making a decision, you must equally think about the consequences. And not just the consequences, but, I mean, you are taking the action against yourself and against a person who is virtually taking care of you as a child. You know, so it's a difficult situation. But I'm just looking at the vulnerability of the girl. You know, we can sit here and feel if I was the one, I wouldn't do it. But once somebody has done it, until you are in that particular situation, it's very difficult to say whether you can do it or not. However, I want to put this out since people are watching across the world. We need to be loyal to the people who are preparing us.
Grace to us.
I mean, grace to us. I think that is very, very important. And the lady should have thought about that as well. But I am just looking at the situation, how vulnerable she would be in the hands of this man. And let's not assume that she intended to give this man a child. It could be that the man wanted it, but it happened that the man got what he wanted.
Well, people on the floor, questions, contributions? Yes, darling.
Hi, Miss Nancy.
Hey.
I'm Johnson.
Johnson, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too. I just want to say something with regards to what Sir said. There were lots of young ladies and guys outside that people are helping. Look, when God sends your destiny helper, that destiny helper won't demand for sex or anything. We must know this, because genuinely there were a lot of young girls in universities and all that are sleeping with big men, and they know that they are married, but still they go in for it. So this young girl...
At least that one, she doesn't know the madam. The madam doesn't call her daughter. The madam wouldn't give her a dress. She would not buy her a shoe. She wouldn't care about her.
Exactly. You are being ungrateful.
Mean. I think that, I mean, knowing that younger people would be watching, and most of you are young, endeavor not to bite the fingers that feed you. Yes, Ray?
Yes, Miss Nancy. Mine has to do with contentment. And I want to take the event where at the point we realized that, okay, the man wasn't impotent, actually. So what at all was he looking for in the wife? There is this conception or misconception about men and women not content with what they have. Since we have our counselor and then a man of God here, they should tell us, is it still possible that even if you have it all, you still go outside the marriage? We just want to know.
What have it all means?
You have all the features, you have all the qualities you're looking for in your partner, yet, because there have been a conception or misconceptions about the fact that we still, especially men, we're still not content
never satisfied
with what we
have. We agree that you people, you can never be satisfied.
A married
sons
man,
of Adam.
No man actually has it all. He only needs to conscientize himself that what he has is enough.
I mean, you don't have it all?
No. I'm a man.
No.
If I had you
Counselor
as my
Ebenezer?
wife,
No.
You have this, you have that, you have that. You don't have it all?
If you like, turn yourself into whatever it is. It's only discipline that will keep me loyal to you, not because you're enough for my eyes.
Yeah.
I see several versions of other female people besides you on a daily basis. And my job gets me to have all shades of counselees who are females on a daily basis. If I'm not loyal to, first of all, myself, my God, before I even think about you, I would have several women I have pants down on a daily basis. And believe me, you would never know if I don't want you to know.
Girls,
so
this is one real man talking.
Yes, I'm just being truthful to you. I mean, if it depends on the man you have. A man who is a public person like myself, who encounters ladies of different shades, even if you're the daughter of Queen Elizabeth, you can't keep me at home if I don't want to be kept at home. Yeah. You can't keep me zip up if I don't want to to be zipped up. So it depends on the culture of the man he has chosen to have. And look, this is the kind of life I want to live. And so I'm going to stick to it. I am married, and even if my wife is acting up, she's my wife, she's all I've got, she's all I'm going to stick to till the end of time. Until a man makes up his mind that way, you can't impress him. No woman can impress a man who doesn't want to be kept. So basically, it's self-discipline, it's self-culture, it's masculine worth. Otherwise, a natural man without guided thinking is polygamous by nature. A man wants to have variety. A man wants to have a taste of this or that. And that's why, as a woman, you must be several shades of different women to the same man and being the same woman. Yeah. You've got to show different shades of you. You can't keep one hairstyle for too long. You must change. You can't keep one kind of fingernails for too long. I'm seeing variety all over the place, and they're all screaming my name. You've got to be different women to me, still being the same you.
Oh my goodness. Being married and having a companion means you have to be a woman 5 in 1. You slay in your cabaret slit. You slay in your little sexy black dress. You slay in that long dress. Right. You slay in the hot pants and the tank top back
just
at
be
home.
Full of surprises, multiple surprises.
And have different hairstyles.
Yes.
Girls, that's plenty of work.
We have come to realize that even the child from the one that the lady was taking care of wasn't the child of the man. We've realized that. So it means that that young girl, though I was considering her vulnerability, she was also playing. Yeah, she was also playing around. She was playing around, and it's one of the difficulties we have today. And connecting it to
mentality.
Yes, connecting it to marriage, we should understand that marriage does not cure promiscuity. It doesn't. Marriage does not cure promiscuity. If you think that I'm going to be flirting around and when I marry, I'll stop, that is not, it's just not true. And like he said, you need to discipline yourself. You need to have that self-control, and that is what will guide you.
Now, I want us to go for this break, but when we come back from this break, we will be talking about how this man is going to say that, listen, your cousins here are actually your step-brothers and sisters. Bottom line, two sisters share the same man. This same man fathered children for two sisters. So from their mother's side, they are cousins. From their father's side, they are step-siblings. People, we'll be right back. You are welcome back. This is Confessions on TV3. Tonight is a very complicated confessions, and we're trying to break it out. Yes?
Yes, please, ma'am.
Thank you. The name?
Please, I am Percy Brown from Aubrey Institute of Technology.
Oh,
yes,
I'm always happy to have you guys.
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you as well.
Awesome. Is it a question or contribution?
It's a contribution.
Please go ahead.
I believe it's all started when the lady decided not to communicate with her husband. You understand? Because something like this, you are married to him, so at least you should give him that respect and tell him that this is what I have found out. And even if the man knew that I am impotent, if the wife was able to tell him that I have found out that you are impotent, at least it's going to create
He wasn't impotent, but he was not fertile.
Okay.
He couldn't make children.
Yeah.
He was smashing them all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
believe
he
that,
just couldn't make children out of it.
Yeah,
but the
at
wife
least,
should have told him.
Yes, it was like it could create an awareness for both of them, and it would at least find them a solution.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
So the wife should have shared it with him, and man.
Please, with the children, I believe what we should do to help the children is it's time for confession. You understand? They should confess, because I believe they are still young.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't wait for them to grow, for them to find out themselves.
Yeah.
You understand? We should just tell them that we should just find a solution for it.
And allow them to process
Yes,
this
thank you.
over time. Thank you. Any other?
Thank you, Miss Nancy.
Yes.
Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas,
My name
darling.
is Ken Larry,
Ken.
a blogger from Aubrey Institute.
My regards to the Reverend Abiam Danso, right?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
First of all, I would like to talk about the lady who was being mentored by the woman. I think she really learned well. Why would I say this? Because I asked myself this question: who is the mentor of the woman? It might be that the husband was the mentor of the woman. And so the woman might have had some conversations with the girl. Because she's mentoring her, I'm sure she might have said certain things that she's not aware of or conscious of. But at the end of the day, the girl also used that as an opportunity.
And used it against her.
Against her.
So for you, this woman is reaping what she sowed in the girl.
Yeah. So it's quite complicated with that. But
That's another perspective,
Yeah.
actually. Because when a young lady says that I want to be like you, they would watch what you are doing, and they will listen to the things you say.
Yeah.
So probably she actually heard her loud and
And I'm
clear.
sure the husband too might have, rectified, known that this is who this other lady is becoming. Maybe that might have been what he loved. The girl might have shown up some attitudes that will make the man feel like, I wish this was mine. And then that happened. So
Thank you, Ken Larry. That's
you.
a good one. That's a good one. Gentlemen, we are wrapping up the show, and Councillor Ebenezer, to you first, and then I come to you, Kelly. But, young lady, are you there?
Yes, Miss Nancy.
Have you been helped so far?
Yes, please.
So you think you're going to have that family meeting?
I sure will.
You will?
Yes, please.
Wonderful. I will pay anything to be part of that meeting because it would be something else. Counselor?
All right. It's a great time listening to all the discussions we had. I must say that somebody said when I was young, but it's making meaning to me now, that it's our mothers who know our fathers. It is our mothers who know our fathers. And this gives credence and a plus to those who go through the matrilineal inheritance. Because that you are sure that it's
your
coming.
Mother is your mother.
Your mother
but
is your
as
mother.
to your father,
it
we
is
are
our
not
mothers,
sure.
your mothers who know. And we have several of these situations around. If you ask me, candidly, we need to work on the man who is infertile to accept the reality and take these children as his own. And indeed, our sister said she was going to hold the family meeting.
Yeah.
But I will ask that telling the children won't solve any problem. Rather, you see, there are secrets in this life, things that are unknown to anybody, and it can be kept like that till death. There are situations like that.
Sometimes you think you would keep it. Just last week, I heard of a lady who's been calling this man her father, taking care of her all through her life. After 35 years, the man says that, you know what, your mom actually told me that you were not mine. Amongst all your siblings, you're not. It's not a very healthy place for
So
any
this one
person
did not
to be.
come from outside. It came from within. See, it came from within.
That's what makes it.
Yeah. So if within, this can be kept as a secret, and this man takes the children as adopted children, even in that thinking, and would, you know, when you adopt a child, the child is yours. You know, though not biological, it's yours. You know, every treatment you need to give to the child and all that.
You do.
I'm thinking that that is the way they should go about it. Because it's a difficult situation. I'm just looking at a situation where this thing is coming out in public. It won't be easy.
He would have
It
to,
won't
I
be
mean,
easy.
take the chill pill
Yeah.
and take these children. Counselor?
So I didn't know or meet my biological father until I was 26.
You did not know your biological father
Nah,
until you
I
were...
was 26. And
What did your mom tell you when you were growing up?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You see, you groom the children with a certain mindset that you would not be able to defend in the future. That's the big problem here. I had to deal with trauma. I had to deal with all sorts of therapy and sessions to get the formation of my brain back to proper setting.
The man you know as your father is not your father.
No, truth is, I didn't even know who my father was. I had feminine figures fathering and mothering me till I was 26, and I kept asking, so who is daddy? Where's my daddy? And they kept telling me, you would know later. What does that even mean? So you see, how to package a matter to the one who must know is more critical than the matter itself.
Yes.
You see, one thing they need to know, and the lady, I'm glad she's here listening, is that you don't just go and open your mouth because you have information. You can't just come and tell me my mother is dead. I would finish you before I realize what you just said. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, a counselor might, I'm not sure you want to call me, but a counselor...
You don't want to be involved.
But a counselor is needed to, maybe we would have to go along, you know, together and say, you know what, we didn't do anything. We come in peace.
You are foreseeing some violence
because
with the bearer of the news.
Somebody might not leave that meeting uninjured. Somebody, maybe not more than one, but I'm not sure everyone is going to live there uninjured.
Safe.
Some hands will fly in the atmosphere, and something might happen. Some chairs, some glasses, some things would happen. It's going to be mega dramatic. And so she should not go divulging alone. There's got to be not just an elder of the family, because they don't care about who is an elder in the family at that time. They've got to bring in professionals And you see, it's not just sit down and tell them one time. It's going to be gradual. It's going to be a process. It might take a month to divulge the whole truth. So it's going to be sitting upon sitting like a court.
You're doing your sister, and then you're doing your husband.
No, you release one information per time.
And you and your husband will deal with the side chick.
Before the children even get to know. The children are the last people to know in this case. So you first have to, well, you've brought the confession. First things first, fantastic. Now you need a professional or two to go with you to have meetings with, okay, maybe your spouse first. This is what is going on. We just said to come talk to you personally. That one will be brooding it until the next meeting where another family member will be joined into the meeting. You can't have it all on a setting. The roof will burn.
This is too complicated. A sister who is your only living family, whose home you are trying to break, whose heart you're trying to break. If anything ever happened to you in this life, this is the person you will go to. Then you have a husband who thinks that I found the love of my life that I'm building a life with. Even though I go to fool outside with another woman, this is my home. Whose heart, whom you have disappointed. And then you have the children, whom you have made them believe they are blood related to a man who is actually not their own. This is too much, people. I end this episode of Confessions by telling you that loyalty is important. Faithfulness is important. Discipline is essential. And as you go out there, be mindful of the things you're doing on a daily basis, because eventually you would have to reap what you have sown. This is Confessions. My name is Miss Nancy. I had Kelly Daniels with me and Counselor Ebenezer, and you wonderful people. Thank you, thank you. Same time next week, we come to you with another edition. I love you. Mwah!